Hello everyone. Let me begin by introducing myself. My name is Nadifa Raya Farozi from the Applied Statistics and Computing program, and today I'm going to present a research project that explores the differences in stress and coping strategies between male and female university students. This study highlights important mental health concerns that many of us can relate to in academic life. And we move to second slide is introduction. University life can be very demanding. Students are under constant pressure to perform well academically, manage their finances, and maintain their social lives. If not handled properly, these pressures can lead to serious mental health issues. One interesting factor that influences how students deal with stress is gender. In this presentation, I will show how male and female students experience different types of stress and use different strategies to cope. By understanding these differences, we can help create mental health support systems that are more effective and inclusive. We will look at the objectives of the study, the methods used, the analysis and discussions of the findings, and finally, the conclusions and recommendations. Let's now move on to the objectives and research questions. The aim of this study is threefold. First, to identify the main source of stress experienced by male and female students. Second, to analyze the differences and coping strategies based on gender. Third, and to provide insight that can help develop gender responsive mental health support systems. To guide the research, we asked three main questions. What are the key sources of stress? Are there any gender differences in coping methods? And how do these strategies impact students' well being? And we move to slide 4 is number of respondents. This study was based on responses from 28 university students consisting of both males and females. They were asked to answer open-ended questions about what stresses them out the most and how they usually cope with that stress. We used a simple questionnaire consisting of two main questions. The first was, what are the primary source of stress in your life? And the second one is, how do you usually cope when feeling stressed or overwhelmed? This method allows us to get honest, personal insight from each participant, which we then grouped into common themes like financial stress, academic pressure, family issues, and so on. And we move to slide 6 is variables analysis. In terms of variables, gender serves as our independent variable. The dependent variables were types of stress and coping strategies. For example, one male student may report academic pressure and use gaming as a coping mechanism, while a female student may report stress from social relationships and prefer talking to their friends. This approach helps us observe meaningful trends based on gender differences. We move to slide 7 is type of statistical analysis used. Since our data was qualitative, we didn't use advanced statistical models like regression or correlations. Instead, we perform a descriptive and comparative analysis. We count, we count how often each type of stressor and coping method was mentioned by students and then compare the patterns between males and females. And we move to slide 8 is visual chart. And now let's take a look at the visual representation of our findings. This bar chart shows the main source of stress reported by students categorized by gender. And as we can see, male students most frequently mention financial problems and academic pressure, while female students showed a more diverse range of stressors, including social relationships, family issues, and financial concerns. And on the next chart, we see the coping strategies. Both male and female students often turn to hobbies and social media, but males were also more likely to use avoidance strategies like smoking or gaming excessively. And females, on the other hand, prefer to talk to friends or family and seek emotional support. And we move to slide 9 is discussion. The data confirms that gender influences not only what students find stressful, but also how they manage that stress. Male students tend to focus on academic and financial stress and might not always express it openly. Their coping behaviors, like smoking or gaming, suggest a tendency towards avoidance or distractions. Female students, meanwhile, often feel stressed about interpersonal relationship or family expectation, and they prefer emotional support system like conversation with their friends or engaging in calming activities. One unexpected finding was how rarely students mention healthy strategies like exercise or mindfulness. Despite growing awareness of mental well being, these approaches are still underused. Overall, the findings suggest that students' mental health support should be tailored to their unique stress patterns and coping styles. One surprising finding was the low use of healthy strategies like mindfulness or exercise despite the growing awareness of mental health practice. This reflects real trends we see among students today. We often choose the easiest escape rather than long term solutions. And we move to slide 10 is conclusion. To conclude, this study has revealed clear gender differences in student stress and coping strategies. Male students mainly face financial and academic pressure, while females struggle more with emotional and social issues. Both gender use similar coping strategies, but their preferences show deeper psychological patterns. Females seek connection and support, whereas males tend to isolate or distract themselves. Based on these findings, we suggest that universities provide gender-sensitive mental health programs. Female students may benefit from peer support and counseling, while male students may need practical stress management tools and greater awareness about healthy coping options. By understanding the unique needs of different students group, we can create a more supportive and healthy academic environment for everyone. And we move to last slide. Thank you very much for listening. I hope this presentation has given you a better understanding of how gender affects stress and coping in university life. And see you and have a great day.